Well, folks, YouTube has done it again, and we are going to talk about toxic comments and basically how it could affect this channel badly and affect the channels you like and watch and may make certain channels go bye-bye. Well, hey, it's Brad with the Big Family Homestead, and I just saw an email, so I clicked on it from YouTube, and I'm scrolling to read it. And I wanted to address something that will most likely affect a lot of channels, especially channels that are opinionated channels. And YouTube is basically tightening the grip on what they view as acceptable content. Well, let me start by saying, first off, YouTube is not an entity that is run by the government or anything like that, where there's supposed to be equal access across the board. YouTube is a private company, and I don't like some of the rules that YouTube makes, but I'm here to tell you that it's their right to make them. And I hate it when entities come in and say, you have to do things this way, change your business practices, or, hey, you're going to have to bake a cake, pal, because this is the situation. And, oh, it goes against my beliefs. Doesn't matter. You got to bake the cake. I can't stand it when, that sort of thing happens. However, YouTube is a private entity, and they, even though they're giving you the guise of everyone has free speech, completely say what you want, no, they don't. As a matter of fact, they really crank down on your free speech rights in terms of it's their place. They can do that. The thing that's irritating is that they give you this illusion that, hey, everybody can come and say what you want as long as you're not being nasty and you follow exactly our rules, which are so vague no one can actually follow the rules, and we'll call harassment whatever we feel is harassment, even if it's not harassment. But we'll call it that, and then we'll destroy your channel, or we'll delete your channel. Let me start by saying they actually have the right to do that. I don't like some of the policies, but they have the right to do that. Now, that said, where are we at? Okay, I want to read a chunk of this. This is from the YouTube official blog that came out on Wednesday, December 11th, 2019. They skim here. I'm going to skim. They're saying, hey, we're changing the community guidelines. We don't like how much harassment's going on from the conservatives. They're not saying that. But if you know anything about what's been going on, look at the Crowder channel, Steven Crowder, and you can easily see a very illustrative example of what's going on in terms of he's a comedian who does political stuff and satire, and he skates on a lot of people's tender feelings and emotions, and they've screamed out loud, and YouTube is responding. And he's just one of many examples. But it's going to have a ripple effect through all of YouTube. And so what does that mean? I'm reading right here. It says a stronger stance against attacks and personal threats. They've always had this thing where, you're not supposed to attack anybody, but they still do it. And now it says this includes simulated violence toward another individual or language suggesting physical violence may occur. No individual should be subject to harassment of violence. Now, I agree with that. I really do. The problem is in their application. It's vague to the point where they can just say what they want about any given situation and say, well, you know what, you should have not threatened this or that. And you may or may not have done that, but it's based on whatever they feel. And if you go and look it up, their content for hate speech policy is so vague that, it's basically whatever they want. Honestly, it's basically whatever they want. And so here, demeaning language. Okay, beyond threatening someone, there is also demeaning language that goes too far. Well, who defines what is too far? Who defines what is demeaning language? Well, apparently YouTube does. So that means that no comedian, basically, every comedian on the face of the earth is now out of a job in terms of having anything to do on YouTube. I mean, think about it. Even the left-leaning comedians, they still pick on people. They still are demeaning toward politicians, including like Trump and anybody on, Ted Cruz and all these guys. They pick on them, they demean them, but are they going to be, harmed by this? Or are they going to just, look the other way? Well, we'll see. But so far, that's been the case. Time and time and time again, they crank down on the conservative and the right, and they let all this other nonsense skate through. Well, maybe they will do the right thing and it'll be equal across the board, but that's not what's happened in actuality. So continuing on, to establish a consistent criteria for what type of content is not allowed on YouTube, we're building upon the framework we use for our hate speech policy. We will no longer content that maliciously insults someone based on protected attributes. Defined by whom? Protected attributes. Should I start a protected status for chubby guys? Hey, I'm a chubby white guy. Don't pick on me. You can't pick on me because I'm a chubby white guy. And now YouTube will adhere to that? Probably not. Ooh, here, let's go one more. I'm a chubby white guy. Ooh. We're not going to go there, but hey, you know what? All lives matter. Why is that controversial? Why is that a horrible thing to say? Hey, I've got friends of all colors, all ethnicities, even both genders. And yes, there are only two genders, and that's probably hate speech. That's probably considered hate speech. Even though it's completely common sense and biological, that's a whole nother story. So they define what hate speech is, right? And again, it's their platform. They can do whatever they want with it. But the problem is they've made it so vague, no one can adhere to it. Okay. This applies to everyone from private individuals to YouTube creators to public officials. This is where I really am going, all right, head scratcher. Like I said before, is this only going to be for, you can't pick on people like Nancy Pelosi, you can't pick on people like the former president, I hesitate to say his name because the video will get flagged. Not the current president, but the former president. Are you allowed to say, hey, Joe Biden is a complete clown and look at his newest gaffe? Look at this. That would be considered hate speech if they like him. If they like him, if they're like, yeah, he's our guy, he's going to be our candidate, then you can't say that about him, and all critique of anybody they like is completely off limits. I want to say that again. If you go after somebody and tease them, make fun of them, point out how stupid they said something, blah, 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 anybody, pick a side, right side, left side, doesn't matter. But if they like that person, then you're going to get in trouble. You will stand to lose your money, content, and your channel. And so here, that goes to this. Consequences for a pattern of harassing behavior. Something we have heard from our creators is that harassment sometimes takes the shape of a pattern of repeated behavior across multiple videos or comments. To address this, we're tightening our policy for YouTube Partner Program. Money. Okay, that's what that means. To get even tougher on those who engage in harassing behavior, don't forget this is whatever they define as harassing behavior, which is also completely vague. Channels that repeatedly brush up against a harassment policy will be suspended, eliminating their ability to make money on YouTube. Okay. Again, their policy, it's their playground. You got to follow their rules. But I want to follow their rules. But what are their rules? How do I know that I'm not going to break the rules? I mean, here's a theoretical thing. Could I say, against a presidential candidate, can I say, oh my gosh, that presidential candidate's policy is complete buffoonery, will never work, the money's not there, it's a lie, you're being lied to? Can I say that? As long as it's their guy or girl, then fine, right? But if it's not, free speech, gone. And you get in trouble. Addressing toxic comments. Toxic comments. What's a toxic comment? When I grew up as a kid, anybody could say anything about anybody. And you know what? Sticks and stones can break my bones, but names can never hurt me. It used to actually be a real thing. Now, it looks like you're going to be, shackled with the loss of financial, ability. You're going to have all kinds of problems in the workforce. Wow. Addressing toxic comments. To combat this, we remove comments that clearly violate our policies. And then they're doing a little bit of bragging here. Over 16 million in the third quarter of this year, specifically due to harassment. Now, again, do I think it's a good idea to pick on people? No, I think it's a horrible idea. Is it their place that they can make the rules? Unfortunately, yeah. But what are the rules? And shouldn't they, this is the big issue, shouldn't the rules be the same for all sides of the political spectrum? And, whoa, what if I say something that they don't agree with morally, as long as I'm not picking on people? What if I said, hey, theoretically, what if I said, you know what? My morals, my morality, my religion dictates to me that I am supposed to believe blah. Well, what if they don't like it? What if they call that hate speech? What if I were to point out, the hypocrisy in some other religion that they approve of? Well, then, am I going to be in trouble? Well, under these rules, probably yeah. So, where are we at? This has ended it's another, there's a long chunk here that's just so vague that it's hard to interpret. Let me finish this out. We're committed to continue revisiting our policies regularly to ensure that they preserve the magic of YouTube while also living up to the expectations of our community. Well, expectations of what part of your community? Sounds like only one very small but very loud portion of your community. Mark Halprin, Vice President, Global Head of Trust and Safety. They've got that. That's pretty cool, man. They've got a global head of trust and safety. Anyway, it's probably going to affect a lot of channels, guys. Do not think that they're not going to use this as a tool to weed through people they don't want to deal with. All you got to do is, if you're in charge, all you got to do is make the rules that kind of weed people out that you don't want to deal with, right? Isn't that, it's their playground. They can do that. The problem for people that love free speech is that there is no other platform that is even close to being a tenth of the size of YouTube, or else there'd be a lot of people jumping ship. I know there's some small ones out there, but there's nothing that even competes in any real way. So that if you have a message or you have a channel that is entertaining, but we also, like our channel, we try to be entertaining and also show homesteading stuff as we go. We don't try to hide our mistakes. We show our mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. We learn from all of our friends around us. Howard and the Don and everybody, our dairy friend Mark, man. These people are investing in us, and we're just trying to entertain and show and learn as we go, and hopefully you're getting something from it. Well, there's a very good chance that if I slip up, or mama slips up, or anybody says something that YouTube doesn't like, then it can just easily go away. It's just that simple. And so now when you look at channels that are a little more aggressive in their stance, you know, I've interviewed some folks who are a little more aggressive in their stance, who I love their channels. Love their channels. Bear Independent, Pastor Joe Fox, Prepsteader Bob. You know, there's a lot of channels out there that are giving you very good content, that are not hating on people in any way, but they're just a little more like this. YouTube doesn't like that. It doesn't fit with their worldview. So there it is, guys. I hope that you see, just be aware, excuse me, a lot of changes might be coming. Hopefully we'll be able to continue providing you guys with content that you like and that's doable and works with YouTube, and we're not going to try to hurt anybody's feelings or any of that stuff. But be aware that their stance is one that is in direct conflict with a lot of people who are, you know, on the more conservative side of things. So that said, if this video is live, make a comment, you know, add your thought to the mix, as long as you're not bullying anybody, right? So anyway, I'm Brad with the Big Family Homestead. You guys have an amazing and blessed day.